What up, guys? So today I'm dressed up like an 80s movie boss in a martial arts film. And I'll give you guys like a fun, I'll show you what's on the inside of this gi at the end of the video for those that want to stick around. But today's question is a really useful one for any of you white belts or anyone really who play jiu-jitsu and you play in the gi, play in the jammas, and you are having trouble with the lapel grips. So a lot of times this happens, and one of our viewers who did not leave a name in his email, shame on you, says, Chewy, been watching your content for about 2 months recently. I joined up about a month ago in training and got a lot of tips from your videos. But one place where I catch myself being frustrated with is being in someone's guard. They're constantly pulling on my lapels, and I catch myself giving up arm bars just to break free from the grips. Do you have any thoughts on how to deal with lapel grips? Thanks in advance. No name. We'll call you Alabaster. It's a fun name. We usually use Bob for the anonymous, but you're not really asking to be anonymous. You just didn't leave a name. So Alabaster, I got a good solution for you. So I'm going to show you a couple different things that you can do to deal with the lapel grips. One of them, by far, one of my favorite options, and it's pretty tricky, so it can be really useful to you. So let's get into the video. All right, guys. So first things first. And then, sorry, not that. Not gonna strike the testicles. Here's what we're gonna do. So we get the cross collar grip, okay? Or he gets a cross collar grip. One of the simplest things that you can do, Alabaster, is just basically, I like to just put a grip underneath of the back of his armpit here so I can flare this elbow up just a little bit. Boom, there it is. Grab the other collar for me there, Marvin. Take my hand, grab some of the material here in the inside of that grip, punch it through, and again, I'm flaring this up. This just makes it, so if he tries to get his elbow down, it just helps stop it. Because if I try to do this, yeah, he's gonna do that. So I get underneath here, jam it on the inside here, which helps me maintain inside control. And we do this. What you don't do, Alabaster, is you don't give him your arm. Bad idea. That's gonna get you caught in an arm bar, in case you didn't know. We don't wanna do that. So from there, that's it. That's the video. Good luck. Have a good day. Oh, chew on, just kidding. So here's what we're gonna do next. So we just got the arm underneath of the neck. We're gonna go to the next thing. This one is pretty simple, and this is if you're gonna do a low guard break. So typically standing guard breaks are gonna be a little bit more effective, especially against more experienced people. That said, sometimes it can be difficult. You're new, it can be difficult to get that balance in the beginning. So here's another option. He grabs the collar. Okay, great. So he grabs the collar. So think about this. If I turn into it here, there's this natural pull that it has, right? Leans into it, but keep your guard up higher for me, Marvin. If I turn away, it's pretty weak, right? It doesn't have the same strength. So if you do some of those low guard breaks, you can start to turn away from the grips. I actually had one of my blue belts, this guy that he was in a competition with, man, crazy strong grips with the lapel. And I remember telling him, because most people, what happens in most cases is people get the grip here or here, whatever, and they do their grip break. And he was having trouble with this. So I told him, I said, look, dude, go the other direction. So stepped out here. And again, we go away. So if the collar grip is here, we turn away from the collar grip and we can start to do our guard breaks, those staggered hand grips that you might use. Make sure if you do this, and if you haven't seen my video about why your guard breaks might suck, make sure do not bring your knees together, step out, and bring that knee in position, okay? So from here, by the way, if you want to watch that video, I'll put it down to the links below and stuff. Here's one more for you. And this one's like one of my favorites. At the gym, we dubbed this the Tentacle. Don't know why, but it's really useful, okay? So let's say he gets a cross collar. I am going to open this lapel up on the same side of the grip that I don't like, okay? And if you guys have trouble with Brabo grips, I'm gonna show you how to use that as well. From here, I'm gonna take this lapel, I'm gonna feed it over top of his bicep, hold it, here. Very easy to break that grip. And now I can actually pin this down, and I'll use it a lot of times to stand up and guard. Okay, let's go to the other side. So he gets the cross collar. Open the lapel, and we're gonna take that lapel and go over top of his bicep. You wanna kind of get it right in the bend of the arm. Now, secure it so we don't lose it, and then get here. Flare the arm out, here. Because if you think about it, once his elbow starts to turn this direction, this makes it tough. By the way, quick aside, if you're gonna pull this out and try to break it, that's the way to do it. If we just pull his 4 fingers make a strong grip, but if I turn his wrist, pull. So bonus, that's another one, okay? So from here, he gets a cross collar grip. We take the lapel, feed it to the bicep, lock it down, boom, pinch it, and then we have that arm controlled. I love this one. How did I come up with this? Well, I don't know who, I'm sure someone else has done this, but I never saw it. But I remember I was training with one of my dudes who was coming back from a knee injury, and he was rolling around. This is just a fun story. He was rolling, brown belt at the time, great guard. He was like an acolyte of Keenan Cornelius, so he's playing all the lapel guard, squid guard, octopus guard, what other underwater creature guards that there might be. And he was playing those and using the lapels. And I remember getting into these positions. I was like, well, I'm going to use his lapels against him because his knee was hurt. We weren't rolling too hard, but I want to put a lot of pressure. But I was like, what can I do with this? And I did that. And since then, that's been a game changer for me as far as dealing with that. Here's one that also was really handy to me because a lot of people use the Brabo grip. And that sucker is frustrating. All right, so this is a Brabo grip. This is tough. You want to talk about frustrating? This is such a stall grip too, because guys can get here and they're one step away from a choke, so you have to be so careful, but it's so hard to posture. My friend, the Tentacle strikes again. We take the hand here, boom, here. If he tries to do anything with this grip here, you like it? So from here, he gets into it. We take the grip, pin it down, lock that sucker. Marvin, I want you to hang on to it. Like real hang on to it.
Not letting go.
Okay. Well, he's letting go because it ain't gonna work because I got the tentacle. Look at that. Bang. We got that arm positioned and pinned. And if he's been really grippy with that arm's pinned down. Now, the cool part about this is if they know what you're doing, a lot of times they just let go because they don't like the feeling of having their arm trapped with a lapel. So, a couple of simple ideas. Head tucks, turning of the hands, breaking grips, turning away from the lapel to take away the strength, and then the tentacle, that's money. Try that out. The tentacle, by the way, you can use it in lots of different positions when the person's gripping up on the collar, but it's a really fun one to use. Hopefully that helps some of you guys out. Alabaster, or whatever your name is, thank you for your question. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you next time. So guys, I almost forgot. Got to show you my gi. So what's so special about this gi? Any of you guys that grew up in the time period that I did, you probably will appreciate this. If you're younger, then this probably means nothing to you. So probably one of my most influential movies that I've ever seen in my life, I say that with absolutely no hyperbole, was Bloodsport, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. You might be asking yourself, as my cameraman did, who's a bit younger than me, he said, Chewy, which one? Like 2, 3? There is no 2 or 3. There's one. Bloodsport. That's the only one. The rest of them, they're all garbage. Look at that. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport, right there. And there's Jackson, who looks like a Jackson. Frankie. So this right here is a gift from my students, and I remember writing like a blog post. I think I even did a video about it, talking about like Bloodsport is the reason why I'm here, because as a kid I was watching martial arts and I wanted to go fight in the Kumite. Fun quick story, and this video is going to be long, but who cares? When I was a kid, I remember doing Taekwondo originally, and I remember I wanted to fight. I wanted to learn how to fight in the Kumite. So I'm in there, and I remember talking to the coach, and I saw the good kids, the more advanced kids, they were doing sparring. They were doing like kicking and punching and stuff. I'm like, that's so cool. I was like, when do I get to do that? He said, oh, when you get your blue belt. And I don't remember the belting system of Taekwondo. I just got my yellow, but blue belt seemed like a really long time away. And my sort of mind had a very tenuous grasp of how that worked with time. And I said, how am I going to get ready for the Kumite if I can't get ready to spar? And my Taekwondo coach just sort of like shooed me off. But nonetheless, fun, quick story about that. And a cool gi, that's a gift from my students. Carlos, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. And it looks cool. It makes me look, like I said, like an 80s boss from a martial arts movie. But anyway, that is the video. Thank you guys for sticking around. Talk to you next time.